Okay, you're working with the Getting Started with Processing book, and this is the way I want you to prove that you've done your programming in it, and I want you to make sure that you really understand it, so you're going to have to explain it. So we're going to start. The first one that you're going to do is that you're going to read chapters 1 and 2, but we're going to start working with chapter 3, and I'm going to have you start documenting with example 3.3. But go ahead and work along with this. So we've got example 3.1, draw a window. So you're going to start processing. You should have followed the directions and downloaded it and installed it at this point. It does work on Mac or PC, so you're in good shape on either. And then first step is to draw a window. Those two slashes are comments, and I'm going to label each one as I do it. And so when I put it in, I want to then test it, and you can see I have an error. Forgot my semicolon. And it takes it a second to run. There we go. Drawing a window just declares a window. So now I'm going to do 3.2, draw a point, and I don't have you taking a picture of this because it's going to be really hard to see. Now we've tested the size thing, so you don't need to test this every time you run it, but you should be testing every couple of lines because it's easier to find an error in 2 or 3 lines of code than it is to find an error in 200 or 300 lines of code, and we're going to get there. So we're going to do a point. And that's just, a point is just a single dot on the screen, and it's going to be really hard to see. That's why don't you have to have you capture this one. So it's right there. Okay, now starting with the third one, you're going to start capturing these into OneNote. So make sure you put in those // this is a comment. Comments are for you, not the computer. And so we're in the basic shapes section, and we're going to do, and you should read through these, we're going to do the draw a line exercise. Draw a line. And so we're going to do size. And if you need to document this in here to help you remember what it does, you're welcome to do that. And as you're learning, I recommend that you do that because you're going to be able to use this document for your tests. So that's the line. Now we can put a comment right on the line to explain what it does. And so here, this is just determining the size of the window, because when we run that one, all that we get is that empty window. So the next one is going to be line 20 by 50 or 20, 110. Now if you look back at your reference here, because you're going to need to explain each one of these, with a line, it's your x coordinate and your y coordinate and your x coordinate and your y coordinate. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. And so those are the coordinates that are going to be drawn. And you want to make sure that that's a comment. And you can put it on the same line, or put it right after it. And you may want to actually hit enter again, and you can make it a longer comment. Okay, so I'm documenting this as I go because this helps me understand and helps me remember what it's going to do. So I'm going to run it, and there we go. Now to document this for OneNote, you can either use Jing if you've installed that, and if you're using the free version of OneNote that's online, Jing's a really good way to go. Because with Jing, you can take your screen clipping, you know, it's self-documenting here, and then you can hit copy, and you can go into OneNote, and you can hit Control V, which will paste it in. Now, if I didn't want to do it this way, if I'm in the full version, I like to go into Insert and Screen Clipping, and that will let me draw the box around. You don't need the whole processing window, but you do want the window where the program is showing. Now, after each of these, you have to either put in a description of what's happening. And I don't care, you don't have to tell me every time what the size window is doing, because we're going to use that every time. But whatever the new element is, you need to explain and document it. This program uses the line function, line x1, y1, x2, y2, x1, y1 is the location of the first end of the line. x2, y2 is the location of the second end of the line. The line will be drawn between the 2 points. So you need to give me an explanation on how each program works, because if you explain it, you're going to understand it and you're going to remember it. You do have a second option if you don't want to write this out. If you're using Jing, I do want you to still get the screenshot. Let me open my processing window. But then you would do a second. You can do this for the explanation instead. If you don't want to write it out, you can capture this and do a video. This is program 3-3, draw a line. We're setting the size of our window, and then the line, we have our x1 and y1 coordinates, then our x2 and y2 coordinates. These are the coordinates of either end of the line. This is the beginning of the line, this is the end of the line, and the line will be drawn between those 2 points. So you can do a verbal explanation for me if you'd like, and then you can save this and name it the same way that it is here. So this would be 3-3 line. Some of these you have to show it working. And you can go to wherever you saved them, history. And if you want, you can test it.
This is program 3-3 draw line.
So I'm going to make sure to save that, and that's in my Google Drive processing class. I just wanted to remember where it was. Okay, so that shows you how to record that in Jing. If you would prefer to document that way, what you'll do is you'll put in, I want to be able to see your code quickly here, and then you can either do a description in writing of how it works, or you can insert, and you're going to choose file attachment. And I put this in my Google Drive. Oh, I was right there. Date modified, and here we go, 3-3 line, insert, attach file, and so that'll drop in here. And I'll be able to grade that because I can just open it by double clicking on it and hitting play. So you have to explain it, but it's up to you. if you're going to do it in writing or if you want to do a short video. Whatever you prefer, I want you to explain each program.